Have you ever stopped to think about how weird some words are? Well, today we're going on a linguistic treasure hunt. We're going to uncover a secret connection that links our feelings, our thoughts, and even the law, and it's all hiding inside one single ancient root word. So let's get started.
So our whole investigation, it kicks off with a word you use every single day, a word that seems to be living a bizarre double life. We're basically going to become word detectives right now and solve a puzzle that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
Okay, so let's just lay the question out there. What in the world do these two things have in common? I mean, a string of words in a book and a judge's punishment. They feel like they're from completely different planets, right?
Yeah, think about it. On one hand, you have a sentence, a complete thought with a subject and a verb. But on the other hand, a sentence is a judge's final ruling, the actual penalty someone has to pay. It is so weird that one word does both of those jobs. How did that even happen?
Honestly, it feels like a mistake, doesn't it? Like a glitch in the language. But it's not at all. The real answer is tucked away inside one incredibly powerful word from ancient Rome, and that's exactly where we're going next. All right, to crack this case, we have to do a little time traveling. We're heading back about 2,000 years to find the source code, the original Latin root that ties all of these ideas together. And here it is, the Latin verb sentire. Now, for the Romans, this word was way bigger than just to feel, like touching something. It also meant to perceive the world around you and, this is the really important part, to judge or to form an opinion based on what you were perceiving.
This, right here, is the key. For the Romans, feeling and thinking weren't two separate things. To really feel something, to perceive it, was to also think about it, to weigh it, and to come to a conclusion about it. It was this whole active process of figuring out what you thought.
And hey, it's not just a language thing. The great philosopher Aristotle put it perfectly. To perceive is to be affected. What he meant was, perception isn't passive. When you see or hear something, it doesn't just bounce off you. It affects you. It causes a reaction, a feeling, and eventually a judgment.
So from this one powerful root, sentire, this whole family of words started to grow. And it basically split into two major branches that we use all the time today. One is based on the form sense, and the other is based on scent.
Now, the sense branch is the more obvious one, right? It gives us words that are all about our five senses, the tools we use to perceive the world. Your sense of smell, a sensory experience, being sensitive to something. It's all about taking in information from the outside.
But now we get to the other side of the family, the scent branch. And this is where it gets a little more abstract, a little more internal. This branch is all about what happens after you perceive something. It's about the opinions, the agreements, and the judgments that you form inside your head.
And this part is just so brilliant. You just take the root for feel, scent, and you start sticking little prefixes on the front. So you add con, which means together, and you get consent, to feel together, to agree. You add dis, which means apart, and you get dissent, to feel apart, to disagree. Isn't that just so logical and cool?
Okay, so we've gathered all our evidence. We get sentire, we get its two branches. We now have everything we need to go back to our original puzzle and finally figure out the strange double life of the word sentence. And here is the smoking gun. In Latin, the noun sententia meant a considered opinion. This wasn't just some random thought. It was the final conclusion you reached after you felt out a situation, after you weighed all the facts. It was, in a word, a judgment. So, let's just walk through the logic here. Step 1, something happens that needs a judgment. Step 2, you use your perception, your ability to feel your way to a conclusion. Step 3, that final, considered opinion becomes a sententia. And step 4, the way you express that final opinion is a sentence. And there it is. That's the big aha moment. A grammatical sentence is just the expression of a fully formed, considered thought. A judge's sentence is the expression of a final, considered judgment. They're not two different things. They're just two different ways of using the exact same idea, expressing a final opinion.
Now, to make this crystal clear, let's compare sense to another root, vis, which just means to see. Seeing is pretty straightforward. It's just about taking in light with your eyes. But sense is so much bigger. It covers all the senses, plus that all-important internal step of forming an opinion about it.
Here's the perfect way to think about it. A judge has to literally see the evidence, right? That's the vis part. But just seeing it isn't enough to deliver justice. They have to consider it, weigh it, and feel their way to a final judgment, a sense. And That's the power of sense.
So that hidden feeling in our words, it turns out it wasn't so hidden after all. It just shows us how deeply our language believes that perceiving the world and judging the world are connected. Which really just leaves us with one final thing to wonder about. What other words out there are quietly linking our feelings to our thoughts, just waiting for us to find them?